Today on CityCast Nashville, it's time for our Friday News Roundup. Joining me is our executive producer, Whitney Pasterek, and Nashville Scene columnist and CityCast Nashville contributor, Nicole Williams. From what might have been the liveliest Metro Council meeting of the year to the official closure of Old Tent City, Nashville had a lot going on this week, including a runaway zebra. It's Friday, June 6th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Fair warning to you both and everyone listening, CMA Fest takes over downtown this weekend. So be aware of the road closures if you have to get across town. And I would bet my two arms that Whitney and Nicole will not be.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Both of them.
I might even throw in my legs. You all will not be attending?
That's a safe bet there, Marie.
Is that a safe bet?
I attended CMA Fest many times when I was working in the mainstream country industry, and now I take it as a great delight to not have to go to that.
Y'all, what if I was like, I'm going to be there?
Nicole, low-key, a massive Cody Johnson fan. Like, what's going on?
I would be speechless.
And you wouldn't have any arms or legs.
I just want to remind folks that CMA Fest isn't just a 4-day festival of country music madness. It's also a major fundraiser for music education. All proceeds benefit the CMA Foundation. Whitney, can you tell us about their work?
I actually really do want to shout out the CMA Foundation and my friend Tiffany Kearns. There was a great article in Axios yesterday about what the CMA Foundation does, but it has pumped more than $30 million of revenue from CMA Fest into music education around the nation, with more than half of that supporting K through 12 programs right here in Tennessee. They're probably going to raise another $2.5 million for the cause during this year's festival. And I really, really loved this quote from Tiffany. She said, "I want people to see it as more than just this headline that's like, CMA Fest is happening, traffic is going to be bad. I want them to really understand that it's actually this beautiful event that is providing so much opportunity for people."
So you're saying brave the crowds, y'all, and help keep the arts in public schools.
Yeah.
So take the bus, maybe.
I'm a bus rider now.
I know, I love it.
Nicole, we're so proud of you.
Now on to what we have all been waiting for, an update about what took place at Metro Council this week. Nicole, this past Tuesday was a very long night. Nashvillians showed up to make their voices heard for the most passionate public hearing of the year. It went on for 4 hours. Tell us all about it.
Literally every year, we hear the same things. And now it's twice a year because of the pre-budget public comment period that happens in February. So every year we get blessed with several hours of Metro employees begging to make a living wage so that they can live in the city where they work. We hear from Nashville residents about what they want their money spent on. And this normally does not include large increases in, say, police funding. Basically, people want stronger communities. They want services for kids. They want gun violence prevention efforts, education funding. They don't want more cops. I mean, that's just not what we're hearing from the people who come out to speak at the public hearing.
And this was also the hearing around the property tax increase. Is that correct?
Yes, no one talked about the property tax increase.
Nobody was there to protest the property tax increase?
Not a single mention. And what that tells me is that a large portion of the city cares less about how much they are paying in property taxes and more about what their property taxes are being used to fund.
So what happens next?
On June 17th, the council will discuss the yet-to-be-released substitute budget proposal from Budget and Finance Chair Delicia Porterfield and any amendments that council members might want to make to either the substitute proposal or the mayor's budget. If the council does not approve a substitute budget by June 30th, the mayor's proposed budget would go into effect by default.
Did you get a sense at all about some things that the council members might want to include in that substitute?
Yes. So Councilmember Porterfield has talked about how she would like to provide more of an across-the-board pay increase for Metro employees, but that is going to require taking money from other sources. So we have to have a balanced budget in Nashville. We're not allowed to operate at a deficit. Any money that the council wants to allocate to different things than is in the mayor's budget, they have to take from somewhere else. And I would also expect to see more money toward the varsity spending plan, which is a proposal from the Southern Movement Committee that y'all have talked about before, would provide more funding for community center hours, for restorative justice programs. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that in the budget as well.
And that's what gave us the Office of Youth Safety in last year's budget.
Yes. It's a $10 million plan, and last year they got $1 million to create the Office of Youth Safety.
Okay.
Well, Nicole, was David Benton in attendance, and did anything spicy happen there? And I do need to remind listeners, this is the council member who aligned himself with Representative Andy Ogles at his closed-door press conference on Memorial Day to attack Mayor O'Connell and his response to the ice sweeps across Nashville.
He sure was in attendance, and some spicy things sure did happen.
Oh, I want to know.
So at the beginning of the council meeting, we had the public comment period, which happens at every council meeting. You can show up and talk about whatever you want to for 2 minutes. It's limited to 10 speakers, or a total of 20 minutes. Pretty much everyone who spoke called out Councilmember Benton for his appearance at and comments at that quote unquote, stop the invasion press conference. Trent Benge, he's a photographer.
He's a photographer. He's also like 19 years old.
He is a youngin'. The kids are all right, as they say. He serves on the executive committee for the Davidson County Democratic Party, and he obliterated Councilmember Benton.
He grew up in Antioch, and what he said was, and I've chosen to build my life right here off Nolensville. I can't believe what you just did and said to my neighbors, basically.
He was furious. Everyone was furious in the gallery, it felt like. He said, "We bow to no congressman. We bow to no council member. We bow to no king."
You can see it online. It's been circulating.
Yeah. And then the other public commenter who, I died. I had to be resuscitated. It was incredible. Joe Lee, who is an East Nashville resident.
Shout out East Nashville Triathlon Club, Joe Lee.
And he is a Taiwanese immigrant. He was speaking in support of a resolution recognizing Immigrant Heritage Month, which is this month, June. And he, first of all, said, "You're welcome," on behalf of immigrants for doing the jobs that, American-born people do not want to do or can't do, and also for adding spice to our foods.
He was wearing a West End Chili's t-shirt
Yes.
while he said this.
Yes.
"You're welcome that we've added spice to your food, West End Chili's."
Yes.
West End Chili's.
Yes. But the best part was when he said, "I'm also concerned about an invasion at our southern border." And of course, I am speaking of our border with Williamson County.
He said they come up here, they take our jobs, they create traffic.
They don't pay property taxes. And they have the audacity to complain about the views on their drive-in from I-65. The crowd went wild. It was so great.
The video has gone viral. I'm sure y'all can find it on Instagram or TikTok or Reddit. It was hilarious.
Way to go, Nashville.
Yeah. Way to
Good
go,
job.
Nash.
Yeah, good job turning up, everybody. We had that episode on Tuesday about how to go to the budget hearing and use your voice. And I think, Nicole, thanks for reminding us that you can actually show up at every Metro Council meeting and use your voice if you've got something to say.
Last but not least, we need to point out that a big court ruling came down this week with the Tennessee Appeals Court declaring that the state can, in fact, cut our council size from 40 members to 20.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
Boop, boop, boop.
Well, Regular listeners might remember that this was something that happened in response to Nashville declining to host the Republican National Convention back in 2023, and the state turned around and slapped us with a whole bunch of punitive stuff, including cutting our council size in half. Metro Legal immediately sued, and it was blocked by a court, and now it has been heard by the next level court, this Tennessee Appeals Court. 2-1, they ruled that the state can, in fact, do this to us. We have one more appeal. We can go to the Tennessee Supreme Court. It's very conservative. See what they say. Metro Legal continues to argue that this is a violation of home rule in which we get to decide for ourselves what we're going to do in our city. I don't know, Nicole, like, how upset should we be about this? It's been so long. I want everyone to know that I personally am like, whatever. Just do it and get it over with.
I would also like to point out that I did predict this, I believe, on this very program. I predicted that we would eventually lose. And that has come to pass, and we will see if Metro decides to appeal to the Supreme Court, but I don't have high hopes given what Whitney has said about, the ideological leanings of our state Supreme Court. Here's the thing, y'all. I'm not upset about a 20-member council. We could make council a full-time job.
Yeah, speaking of a living wage.
Yes, an actual full-time job with actual full-time pay. It's already a full-time job with part-time pay.
Right.
I think the thing to be upset about here is that Nashville didn't get to decide this. The state decided it for us. And this has already gone on the ballot, the idea of shrinking the council size several times, and the voters in Nashville have rejected it every time it's been on the ballot in Nashville. So I think that's a pretty clear sign that Nashville as a whole did not want this, regardless of what my personal opinion may be. I think that's the thing to be upset about, in my opinion.
What I enjoyed was a comment from Councilmember Sandra Sepulveda on Blue Sky, in which she essentially said, congrats, state Republicans, you played yourself, because in her estimation, shrinking our council size would only make it more progressive.
Yeah, I think that's possible because, we have some districts sort of in the outlying parts of the county where we end up seeing more conservative council members being elected. Once you start to shrink the council size and therefore increase the size of the districts, we might get more liberal parts folded into what are currently more conservative leaning districts.
Riveting.
Marie.
Truly. What's going to happen?
I don't know.
Jeez. And then now, even more spicy news. Who else is going after our mayor, Whitney?
I'm going to just do this briefly because I'm also over this story. Marsha Blackburn, Senator Marsha Blackburn, has joined the ever-growing chorus of people who have decided that somehow Freddie obstructed the ICE raids in Nashville last month. She has now filed the Protecting Law Enforcement from Doxing Act, or I'm just going to call it PLEDA. It doesn't mean anything. According to the New York Post, which, speaking as a former New Yorker, when your non-New York City mayor ends up in the New York Post, you've got trouble. But anyway, Marsha Blackburn told the New York Post, just last week, Nashville Mayor O'Connell and his office doxed federal law enforcement officers after the Trump administration worked with Tennessee Highway Patrol to arrest criminal illegal aliens, she said. First of all, we have no proof that those were criminal illegal aliens. Besides what we've been told, nobody got due process. Plenty of people had no criminal records at all, and we don't even still know their names. But anyway, moving on. I guess this is because Metro named the ICE official who called the Department of Emergency Communications and a couple others on a city website. Just real quick. And Marsha, if you're listening, sup girl, this is not doxing. Merriam-Webster, the dictionary, defines doxing as, quote, to publicly identify or publish private information about someone, especially as a form of punishment or revenge. People's names and where they work is not private information, unless for some reason the federal government thinks that they should be because there's something funny happening at ICE.
Well, particularly when you work for the government, when you are being paid by you, me, everybody else in this country, you are not entitled to anonymity.
Yep.
Like,
Unless
that's
you're
just not a thing.
spy or something, a CIA spy or
But even like if you look at the state of Tennessee's website, you can look up any state
Right.
employee
Yeah.
and their salary.
Yeah.
Right.
You can do the same for Metro employees. Like, you are not entitled to anonymity if you are being paid by taxpayers.
It's so true. I just want to end this segment that has turned out to be very long. Thanks for sticking with us here, listeners, with a quote that Democratic State Senator Jeff Yarbrough of Nashville gave to Politico. He said, "For the politicians who care about nothing but the national news, this is a symbolic story. But for those of us who represent communities where we've seen lawless dragnet policing, there are real life consequences to our community and to our neighbors." And we'll be back right after this.
And we're back. The other big news this week was the official closure of Old Tent City, which is a story we've been following closely here at CityCast Nashville. Whitney, what's the update?
Thanks, Marie. Yeah, the official closure of one of Nashville's oldest encampments took place Monday and Tuesday this week, with the Office of Homeless Services telling attendees at Wednesday's State of Homelessness Symposium that they were able to get 107 residents into shelter prior to the closure. According to stats that I saw on WKRN, 81 people were relocated to the transitional housing facility at the Roadway Inn. The remainder were placed elsewhere, with some folks declining assistance entirely. On Tuesday, the final resident, named D, departed the camp with his bicycle after living there for 5 years. And a photographer named Madison Thorne, who's been documenting the closure, posted some really beautiful and emotional photos of D as he left on her Instagram. You can see these at @mthornephoto. "Open Table Nashville jumped through dramatic hoops," she wrote, "to find temporary housing for D and storage for some of his belongings. But despite offers to transport him there by car, he preferred to go by bike." Madison also grabbed some shots on Monday that caught my attention. We actually included one of these in our Hey Nashville newsletter. As MNPD began the official sweep to clear folks from the area, they were accompanied by city employees, including one confirmed Metro Parks staffer. Madison grabbed a couple shots of these men in their polo shirts and khakis surveying the site before residents had even finished leaving. They're holding what appears to be a plan for the forthcoming wharf park that will be built in this location. This image gutted me.
It was so sad.
Yeah. Really tragic.
Mm-hmm. It was almost mocking
Yeah.
of just showing their power.
The other photo that wrecked me was a shot taken by an Open Table Nashville staffer of the parking lot outside Old Tent City 24 hours after the closure began. It's a black and white photo of a parking lot full of MNPD vehicles just parked all in a row. Like, that's where they live now. I don't really know what to do with these emotions. And it has been a challenging and emotional week for a lot of us, especially the people who live within our unhoused community, but also the people who work with them. Several service providers are still telling local news outlets that they don't agree with the decision to close the site at all. Lindsay Crinks, who's a founder of Open Table Nashville, she's been working at Old Tent City since 2008. Told WKRN that she believes Metro leaders haven't done enough to work on the underlying issues that cause homelessness. Section 8 vouchers are paused, she said. The waiting lists are incredibly long and obtaining housing is incredibly difficult. So we keep echoing what we hear people saying on the streets again and again and again, which is, where can we go? Where can we safely exist? End quote. And then I just want to come back to the State of Homelessness Symposium that happened on Wednesday. This was a room full of Continuum of Care members, including Kenetha Patterson, who we interviewed last week alongside former Metro staffer Mike Lacey about their concerns surrounding the effectiveness of the Office of Homeless Services. There were also national leaders in the homelessness space in attendance, and I think at least one elected official. And OHS Director April Calvin, for some reason, decided to use her opening remarks to call some of the media coverage around the Old Tent City closure, quote, fake news. You can also watch this on YouTube. It's on the Metro Nashville Network's channel. Within the first 30 seconds of her speech, her opening welcoming remarks to the group, she thanked all those who, quote, dismiss the false narratives fake news and misleading facts. And then about 4 minutes later, she does it again. She says OHS is, quote, committed to working diligently, even while having to drown out some of the news, fake news. I feel a little called out by this. Our episode last week was extremely critical of Director Calvin and OHS, including reporting that was picked up and echoed by the Nashville scene this week. As I mentioned before, news stations like WKRN have included criticisms of OHS in their stories. Is she calling all of us fake news? As we've mentioned twice now, we did reach out to OHS for comment, clarification, and response to the questions raised in our episode before we aired it, and we have yet to hear back. I'll just reiterate that we are very, very open to their response. We welcome it because we want to present the complete story to all of you out there in Radio Land. But until they find time to send us a response, there's not a whole lot more we can do.
I guess that was their official response. Fake news. Like, super helpful. Thank you for clarifying. So, yeah, I guess like WKRN is fake news, CityCast is fake news, the Nashville scene is fake news. Like, everything that isn't something that comes directly from April Calvin's mouth is fake news.
I'd also like to point out that I'm going to assume that she doesn't think that positive stories, like the one that ran in the Nashville Banner this week about a family that was able to find permanent housing, I don't believe she thinks that's fake news. I would assume that that was fine. And I would like to shout out Open Table Nashville and every single service provider in this city who busted their asses to make sure that everybody in Old Tent City got out of there safely and found a place to shelter, at least temporarily.
And the service providers who have taken risks to speak to the media about their experience and what they are seeing firsthand from the people they are working with.
Nicole, hit it.
Da-da-da-da, good news.
Yes. Okay, folks, as CMA Fest takes over downtown Nashville, there's another unexpected star stealing the spotlight. I love this more than anything. A runaway zebra has graced us in here in Nashville.
Move over, Shabuzi.
Yeah.
We got a zebra.
Oh my God, these memes have been killing me all week long. The story here is that there was a newly acquired zebra who social media has named Ed. Ed escaped its Rutherford County home just like the next day it was adopted, you know, these poor owners. So this zebra escaped and has been spotted galloping through neighborhoods and even caused a temporary shutdown on I-24. And despite efforts by its owners and local authorities, the zebra remains at large.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I guess last it was seen just darting into the woods. So that the zebra is in the woods.
Not home before dark. Ed,
Right.
Come on. There are giants in the sky. Anyway, moving on.
Luckily, its companion Stripes is safe at home. Maybe they had a fight and Ed just had to go, you know?
Can we have a CityCast musical?
Margaret would be so in.
I would be so in. I could write it all for us. Let's do it. It's for the members. We're going to launch membership. Come to our musical.
Yeah, that's true, y'all.
Yes.
Membership is coming soon. And we might actually write a CityCast musical for you.
Yeah. This comes during the same week that a bear was spotted in Hendersonville.
Oh, I love it when we have a bear.
It feels like Nashville is turning into a scene from Jumanji, y'all. Lord.
I was literally just about to say Jumanji.
Jumanji.
I think we're plotting an episode upcoming about all of this, and I'm 99% sure it's going to feature Councilmember Erin Evans, who is famous for getting all of the loose cows in her district back home safely. So if you are listening to this and you have a story of a wild animal on the loose in Middle Tennessee, past, present, or potentially future, does your neighbor have an anaconda? We want to hear it. Give us a call at 615-200-6392, and we might use your story in this upcoming episode with Erin Evans. That number is also in our show notes in case you weren't holding a pen.
Please give us a call. Tell us your stories. We want to hear them.
We want to hear them. And then the last thing I just want to mention, it's so stupid. This week also brought news that both Post Malone and golfer John Daly are opening bars here in Nashville. John Daly, obviously known for his long backswing and his fondness for alcohol. And Post Malone, being known for being Post Malone, is this going to help our image as a place to come get blackout drunk? Nicole?
Survey says, sure.
Post Malone. Why does that feel so out of left field?
No, he's country now.
That bar's going in where Wannabe's karaoke used to be, which was the first place that I sang karaoke the first time I came to Nashville. So RIP.
Oh, it's a special place for you.
Not that special. More importantly, I sang kind of karaoke on Wednesday night, and I want to let people know about this because it's happening again next Wednesday. I went to Rice Vice, Proper Sake's sake bar. There was a brand new surf band there, surf rock.
Like Beach Boys?
No, the Beach Boys are not surf rock. Surf rock is the guitars that are like...
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And we should do a musical.
Was
Anyway,
there karaoke or you just stood up and started singing?
so this brand new surf rock band, they're called the Skeleton Coast Band, and they started playing like new wave hits from the 80s, but in the style of surf rock. So they played White Wedding by Billy Idol in the style of surf rock. And then in the bar, we all kind of yelled out, China Girl. And within like 5 minutes, they had worked up a surf rock version of China Girl. Then they played a Police song, and we all went, So Lonely. And so they started playing a surf rock version of The Police's So Lonely, which is one of my personal favorite songs. So yes, I got up and sang the whole thing. And they're saying next Wednesday, they might actually have a PA and a microphone there for people who want to sing along. So Rice Vice, Wednesday night, Sop Sop Barbecue will be there. They're like this amazing Laotian barbecue pop-up, 7 p.m. Get your butts out there.
That's so fun. This is why we live in Nashville.
I've done karaoke before.
What?
Come on.
Yeah.
Live band, surf, rock and roll, karaoke.
Yeah. I'm super pumped. Tonight, I'm finally going to see my so-called band. A friend won tickets, so we're going. It's at the OG basement, and they're playing alternative rock hits. So Smashing Pumpkins, here I come.
You are going to sing along, but they're probably not going to give you a microphone.
I know, and I'm going with an old friend from high school, too, so it's going to be super nostalgic.
Oh my God, that's so
Isn't that
awesome.
Fun?
Yes.
Yeah, a marching band friend.
Aw. Last but not least, and then we're going to let everybody go. It's a great Friday in Nashville. It's going to be storms all weekend, but hopefully it will not affect Musicians Corner, where we are going to be tomorrow, Saturday. We're going to be out at Musicians Corner. We will be there from 12 to 6 in a booth. We have a tent and a table. And we'll probably have Starburst because I think we've decided that's our thing. And you can
That
come
is our
meet
thing.
me, Marie, Daniel, Margaret Kingsbury will be there.
Wait a second.
What?
I didn't know that there were Starburst involved.
Well, Hansel and Gretel, we'll start at your house. We'll leave Starburst to
Yes.
Musicians Corner.
Yes.
How many Starburst would it take to get from Nicole's house to Centennial Park? Anyway, y'all, Musicians Corner is free. Get out there. Maria, I know you're excited to see Valerie June.
Yes, at 4:45 tomorrow, Valerie June takes the stage. I am so pumped. I actually went up to her. I never go up to celebrities in airports. I went up to her a couple years ago because I just adore her. She's amazing.
Come see Valerie June and us at Musicians Corner in Centennial tomorrow.
Well, we did it, y'all.
That's it.
We did it. Have a
We did it
wonderful
again.
weekend. Nicole, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson. Our executive producer is Whitney Pasterek. Our producer is Daniel Sumstein. Our Hey Nashville newsletter editor is Margaret Kingsbury. And our theme music is by Prof Jenkins, with additional music by Tambor from Triple Scoop Music via Getty Images. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!